Kenny Schrader vaulted to the front pretty quickly here.
Schrader started third. Getting set to go back to green. Chevy, Ford among the front three. And we're racing.
Biffle tried to get a run on the inside going into turn one, but Schrader would have nothing to do with that. Close the door on him.
Buddy, Milwaukee was a flat track very much like this one. But any advantage Ford versus Chevy versus Dodge on these mile flat tracks?
I think you're pretty even. I know that the Chevrolets and Fords have been up front most of the year. Jack Sprague, unfortunately, is already out, but he has been a strong contender and has had many wins. The truck on the move right now, just behind this group, is Andy Houston. He was moving right up towards the front, and he has been really good, but he's hung on the outside now. If we look at these trucks, they're starting to run 2 by 2 in the corner. Back in that area there, going in the corners, you can see some of them already starting to try that outside line.
Biffle had a look on Schrader last time into turn one. Fifth place they are side by side.
That's Andy Houston in the 60, the red and yellow truck there. And just below him, Jimmy Hensley in the 16. And there's Randy Tolsma. You see these guys now no longer afraid to try that outside line.
Houston had made a run on Joe Ruttman a couple of laps ago when you were talking about him, and it looked like he was trying to take fourth place, and he had to read it back out on him, and Hensley got a run on him going into the corner and got it beside of him. But now Houston has pulled back out and has fifth place to himself at the moment.
Upper left of your screen, you see a driver whose position box is in green. He's moved up in the last lap. A driver whose position number box is red has dropped a spot in the last lap. Let's have a look at the gauges on Randy Tolsma's Dodge. Oh, trouble. The 75 is around. That's Marty Houston.
I'm not sure he hit anything, Mike. If nobody doesn't hit him, he's trying to get it fired and does, and moves away.
And that fire you see coming out of the exhaust, that's unspent fuel. When he cranked it up, the air and the fuel got together there, and it makes that little puff of fire, but there's nothing wrong when they do that. And
there's no caution. We stay green at 11 laps. Schrader in white and blue, the leader. In red and black, Greg Biffle running in second.
Chevrolet out front and Ford in second.
And third. Kurt Busch is also in third place, just behind team trucks there.
Let's go to Dick Bergman.
Jack Sprague is walking at a hurried pace back to his garage to see his truck. That was a hard hit. You hurting anywhere?
Well, it wasn't too bad for me. I mean, it looked worse than it was. I saw smoke. My spotter said he's up high, and so I went to the bottom, and he come back across in front of me. Never saw him coming, so that's what happens when you qualify back there.
Okay, get that truck ready. This guy went 2.5 years before a single DNF, Mike. If he doesn't make it back today, it's going to be 3.5 of this season.
Well, he started deep in the field, Dick. 23rd position. That's what Sprague was referring to.
That's uncharacteristic, really, of he and that team.
Yes. Schrader, 52, the leader. Greg Biffle in second. You've got a Winston Cup veteran against a real up-and-comer.
Yeah, you got that right. They'll rub paint in years to come because Schrader loves to race anything. That's what he's doing today. Winston Cup tomorrow. Today he's having a great time out there. I'm going to tell you, they drop a checkered flag or a green flag, he wants to be in the event.
Take a look at Marty Houston's spin there a moment ago.
There's Houston on the inside in blue.
The Spears truck. They make a little contact there.
Yep, that's Tom Carey on the outside. The Massachusetts driver.
Corey Gibbs in the 20 just does get by on the high side.
Contreras as well. And Marty is still running. That's been a tough week for the Houston family. They lost their grandmother in the early part of this week. Andy and Marty coming to the racetrack a little late in the game here after being with the family back in Hickory, North Carolina. Our sympathies with them.
Certainly so. That's a real close-knit family, and our sympathy does go out to them. And Greg Biffle just simply cannot find a way around Kenny Schrader. Kenny Schrader knows his way around this racetrack. He's had a lot of success in the Winston Cup. He hasn't won. Sat on the pole several times and has led some laps here and been a front runner in NASCAR Winston Cup competition, and showing that he knows the way around here today.
Let's get an update on Dennis Setzer from Dick.
Well, in the decided that they're going to take him off to a local hospital, Mike. He is awake. He is alert. No serious injuries there, but he's pretty well bruised up. So they're going to cart him out of here just to make sure that he is entirely okay.
Thanks, Dick. Greg Biffle has 4 wins this season, including 3 in a row. Here's a look at the pack chasing him from Andy Houston on back. That's Tolsma on the left of your screen, 25, 16 Jimmy Hensley.
Brian Refner in the 3 truck just behind that group.
And then Bobby Hamilton trails that group in the number 4.
Hamilton is in 9th. Right behind him is Rick Crawford in the 10th position.
Riding with Randy Tolsma.
You want to talk about some RPM? Did you see that? 88, 8,900 down the straightaway. The Dodgers turn a tremendous amount of RPM down the straightaway to get the power to run with Chevrolets and Fords. I talked to Joe Ruttman, and he says you won't believe what we turn just to keep up.
Well, that 8,800, as you say, that is cranking it on up there.
And look at the differential. They're down to 6,000 RPM in the middle of the corner, so that's a long pull down the straightaway from these tight turns. At the front, Biffle had another look to the inside, but Schrader's got a pretty wide tailgate on that Chevrolet.
It looks like Biffle may have a better truck getting in the corner. Schrader has a better truck from the center part of the corner out to the straightaway.
19 laps complete here at New Hampshire. Ken Schrader the leader over Greg Biffle. That Chevy leading forward. We've had 1 red flag for Dennis Setzer's wreck. We'll be right back. Tonight on CBS, 10 strangers move into a small house and cameras record their every move. Can they live together while America watches? An all-new Big Brother. Followed by Chuck Norris in Walker, Texas Ranger, and Jason Gedrick in Falcone. Tonight on CBS.
You know, as much as I love money, they couldn't make me be in a room with where everybody can see you around the clock.
Tomorrow on CBS Sports Spectacular, look behind the scenes at the making of a champion. The emotion, sweat, and tears of Hoops and Hoosiers, the story of Final Four 2000. Plus, relive the most memorable feats from Dan Jansen's triumph to Christian Leitner's last-second miracle to Doug Flutie's Hail Mary on CBS Greatest Sports Moments tomorrow. Here at New Hampshire International Speedway, 25 laps have been completed, and Ken Schrader is out front. Greg Biffle running in second. His teammate Kurt Busch in third. Joe Ruttman in fourth. Randy Tolsma, Andy Houston, Bobby Hamilton, and Brian Refner, the leaders.
Boy, you just watch Kurt Busch, that third truck right there. I'll tell you, he's a tiger. He reminds me of Tony Stewart when the race gets going. He just seems to get in the zone, and once he gets in that zone, he just starts picking them off. He's a very talented rookie driver.
Well, he drives for Jack Roush. Roush has 5 Winston Cup cars, and he's going to move Greg Biffle up into the Busch Grand National Series next year. Chad Little is leaving the Roush Cup team. A spot is open, and Kurt Busch is already on the payroll. What do you think?
Well, I think Jack Roush will be taking a big step, putting an absolute rookie in Winston Cup, but we've seen him come before, maybe with a little more experience than he has, but Jack Roush thinks a lot of this young man. He said he adapts to racetracks better than anybody that he has seen.
Now, that decision's not yet been made.
No.
There are several candidates for that 97 car for next season, but certainly Kurt Busch is on that list and deserves to be.
And the good part is Chad Little will land somewhere. He's
Yes.
a very talented driver, too, just like Johnny Benson was let go a couple of years ago, and he certainly made a great name for himself. So just by being released does not mean it's the end of your racing career.
We watch from Randy Tolsma, looking back at Andy Houston. These are 5th and 6th place. And that's Bobby Hamilton right with them.
Yeah, in the light blue truck. And Tolsma had passed Andy Houston, pulled away for a little bit, buddy, but now Houston is closing back in. So I don't know if Tolsma is slowing down or Houston picking up.
Well, we're getting to the point now, Ned, and so many times on these types of tracks where it's flat, the balance of the truck will really make a difference. And the tires are getting worn down, the fuel load's getting lighter, and these trucks change as they go along through this transition. So what's good right now may not be good 20 laps from now.
That's Andy Houston in the red and yellow, number 60. Bobby Hamilton in blue and white, number 4, trying to take that position away. Gets a nose on the inside of him.
Hamilton's already come up 7 spots in this race, from 14th to 7th. Makes the pass. Let's get a little more on Andy Houston from Ralph.
Well, Mike, the biggest thing for Andy Houston right now is he's got to work on the entry into the corner. That's where he seems to be losing the most speed on the racetrack. Getting in the corner as they come down the straightaway carrying so much speed, but you got to be able to find that fine edge, going in very deep to carry as much speed as you